Yeah, I moved out at 30 with a baddie. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Naya. I actually posted about this on TikTok like twice, and both times it went kind of crazy because everybody was like,
why in the world did you move out at 30 years old?
I'm here to just answer some questions that was on my TikTok. Even though, I mean, this happened like a month ago, so I don't know if anybody cared, but I'm gonna bring it to YouTube because this is a whole nother platform. And just a little disclaimer, this is a safe space, so we're not gonna do the nasty remarks.
I don't ever bring anybody around me like that.
So nasty.
And that's what happened.
So rude.
I'm open to comments, I'm open to opinions, but keep it cute. Don't get nasty, don't get crazy. I'm me, and y'all are y'all. We do not live the same lives. We are different people, so don't get crazy. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. So I wrote down like 5 questions that I seen the most of. So the first question that I got was, why did I wait so late to move out? I'm just gonna give y'all a little rundown of everything that led me up to this point. So I did go to school. I was not one of the fortunate people to get a job right out of school. I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do, which is insane because I probably should have known what I wanted to do when I was in school, but child, I was too busy partying and have a good time.
Cheers to the girls' weekend.
Cheers, bitch. After school, I had a couple interviews. It just was a flop because I was still in a childish mindset. I was not interview ready. I just was not prepared for the real world. I decided that I was gonna go back to school. So I started my master's degree, but the field that I started in, I didn't really like it. So I switched over. I started all over again after like a full semester. I stuck with it and I didn't graduate with my master's until 2020. Literally from 2017, it was technically 2016, it was the end of 2016, to 2020, I literally was working as a waitress. I don't know if we all live in the same world. According to TikTok, everybody is rich and they live on Mars. You cannot rent a lot of places living off of a server salary, or at least I wasn't comfortable doing that. Anybody who has served know that that money is very inconsistent, very. My schedule was inconsistent. It just was not sufficient enough for me to be able to pay my student loans back, pay my car note, pay car insurance, pay all these extra bills, and pay rent on top of that. That's actually crazy. I didn't get my first real job until, I think I started working my first real corporate job in 2020. No, it was 2021. And at that point, I still wasn't making a lot of money, and I probably could have moved into my own place, but I just was not comfortable. I did not want to move into a place just to be struggling. My peoples was cool with me staying, so I stayed. That's really what was tea. Period. I had worked that job for about a year, and then after I was working that job, I had gotten a better job, my current job now. This job afforded me to be able to move out on my own. So it literally just took me forever to kind of feel comfortable wanting to move out. But anybody who lives on their own knows that it's not easy. It's more than just getting a place to stay. You have to furnish it and be able to maintain it. Moving into an apartment is not a cheap thing, especially those first expenses is a lot, okay? So I technically moved out before my 30th birthday, but I was basically 30. I moved out in January, my birthday was in February, so basically I was 30. So the second question that I got is, what do I do for work? I do work at a tech company, and it took me a while to get into that transition into tech. I had started my original master's degree in education. I didn't want to do education. I wanted to find something that I knew I could make a lot of money in and that I would somewhat enjoy. My best friend was getting her master's degree at the time. She was also getting it in tech. So I was like, well, let me see if I'll be interested in it. And I was. So that's what I did. While I was in school, I did like a lot of networking. COVID had happened. Everybody was on social media hustling, really. At that time, I was on Twitter heavily. It was like this whole black tech Twitter thing. It was just a lot going on. Everybody was like networking, talking about their tech experiences and their jobs and all this other stuff, yada, yada. So I was absorbing all of the resources that I could. And I just so happened to be on Twitter. Somebody was sharing that their company was hiring to send my resume over. She set me up with an interview, and that was it. So question number 3 is, how was I able to move out in this economy? I saved a lot of money. My first corporate job that I had, I wasn't really able to save that much. But when I had got this new job, I got with a financial advisor because I knew that that was gonna be my first time making that much money. And I knew that I wanted to eventually move out. For 2 full years, I was really aggressively saving. The fourth question that I had gotten so many times, I really should have put this as number 1. Why did I rent instead of buy? It's a few reasons for this. That was like the initial thing that I wanted to do. I kind of moved pretty abruptly. It was just like a lot going on and I didn't really have time to like go through the home buying process. Now looking back on it, I'm glad that I didn't do that, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't think people understand what goes into buying a home. And before you even get to looking at a home, it's a lot of things that you have to go through. You have to make sure you make enough money, first off. Make sure your debt to income ratio makes sense to even qualify for a certain type of house. You need to get pre-qualified to even start looking at homes. And then on top of that, once you get into the home buying process, there's closing fees, HOA fees. There's a plethora of fees that are associated with purchasing a home. It's a lot, y'all, it's a lot. I only did very surface level research, but just that little bit of research that I've done was a lot. And not to say that I don't ever want to buy a home, but at this point in my life, I am a single woman, no children, no husband. There was no reason for me to, well, I'm not gonna say that because buying a home is a great investment, but that's just not what I wanted to do. With this being my first adult apartment, big girl apartment, I wanted to experience apartment living. Like, I've lived in an apartment in college, but it's just not the same. And I also wanted to experience living in a luxury apartment, living in a high rise. And also, I don't even know where I wanna set roots at. It's just a lot that goes into deciding to buy a home. It's a huge investment. I just don't take that lightly. Yeah, I'm 30. I probably should have been thinking about that, but I was thinking about surviving. I was thinking about just getting here, you know? I am a late bloomer. It is what it is, y'all. It's real people in this world that's my age that are just getting here. Just give people grace. Society will tell y'all to do all this stuff, and they don't tell you the ugly side of being a homeowner. Nobody is gonna pressure me into doing anything. I'm not gonna put more on myself than I know that I can handle because I'm trying to appease society. Not gonna happen, because when I need help with a bill, it's gonna be crickets. Don't let people tell you what to do with your life. Do what you wanna do when you wanna do it at the pace that you're comfortable with, because at the end of the day, you have to look out for you. These people have you out here homeless. Anyways, my fifth question was, do I regret waiting so long to move? Honestly, no. I am glad I did it this way, because moving into this apartment, I literally got every single thing that I want. I've been living here since January and I'm still in love with this apartment. I'm in love with this apartment building. I just love it here. And I don't know, I feel like this was just perfect timing. The only thing that I would do differently is get myself together earlier and not be playing around. Looking into income-based housing programs, because I didn't know that they had so many programs available. And had I known that back then, I don't know if I really would have done it anyways, but maybe I would have moved maybe 2 years earlier. If y'all are younger than me and are looking to move out, have like a decent paying job, you don't have to be making a whole bunch of money, definitely look into your local income-based housing, because I guarantee you there's some type of program out there for you. And the last question that I had was, what should I do if I want to move out? 3 things that helped me the most was, 1, making sure I had a good job. Honestly, you can do whatever you want. You could just move out on a whim, wing it, let go and let God with $14 in your account and moving into an apartment. You can do that, but me personally, I wanted to make sure I was good and comfortable to move out, and comfort for me meant getting a stable job. Number 2 is save. Everybody say save 3 to 6 months of rent, but I say at the very minimum, save $10,000. Definitely should save more if you can, because that'll cover your first month's rent, security deposits, turning on your utilities, buying furniture, getting your first groceries. Like, all of that stuff is gonna add up. And the third thing is buying before you move out. If you have a set date of when you wanna move, try to buy as much as you can before you move in. I wouldn't recommend buying like decor pieces or things that you may change your mind on. Get your essentials. I actually have a few videos on my TikTok about purchasing things before you move out. I actually have a list, I'll link it in my description box, that I use to help me make sure I had everything I needed for my apartment. I was lucky enough to have family who had a basement, so I was able to keep all of my house stuff in the basement until it was time for me to move. But if you have the space, I would recommend it, because it saves so much money if you just buy things gradually instead of having to spend all of that money up front at one time. And I had everything I needed when I moved in because I had bought things before. So highly recommend that. That was probably the best thing I could have ever done. But yeah, y'all, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of answer some of the questions that I was getting on my TikTok. If you are in the same position I am, 30 and moving out, 30 just moved out, 30 still at home with your parents, don't let these people shame you. Your time is coming. There's no rush. None of these people are donating money to you to move out. Don't let nobody pressure you to do whatever. Do what's best for you. If you want to live at your parents' house till you 45, that's your prerogative. Just know that it's a blessing to even have family that wants you to be around, let you be around, because you know, a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to have family to allow them to do that. I've seen so many comments of people saying they got kicked out at 15, 16, forced to figure it out on their own. If you have the privilege to stay with your family, just stay. It's literally no rush. One thing you don't want to do is rush to move out just to have to move back in. Let me know if these tips are helpful. Take these tips, do better than me. If y'all have any other questions, leave them in the comments. Thank y'all for watching this video. Go ahead and like this video. And if you want to see more apartment content, then go ahead and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Okay, bye.